Hi, our next topic is foundation. What is mean by foundation? Foundation of a building. What it means? It is the bottommost part of the building. What is mean by bottommost part of the building? Now, see this small sketch. Assume this as a small house, door, window, steps. Okay, this is the ground level. Okay, ground level. Now the portion below the ground level, that means this portion, that is called foundation. So the portion below the ground level is called foundation. Now what is this level? Actually this is the floor level. Floor level. The portion between the ground level, this is the ground level, and the floor level, that is this portion. This is the floor level and this is the ground level. That is called basement. Okay. Now what is the portion above the basement up to the top of the roof? From the floor, that is from the floor up to the top, that is from the basement level, that is this level or the floor level, up to the top, that is up to here. So this portion, that is called superstructure. So that means there are three parts for any building. One is the foundation, another one is the basement, and the next one is the superstructure. So foundation means the portion below the ground level. Basement means the portion between the floor level and the ground level, and the portion above the floor level, that is called superstructure. You take any building, whether it is a residential building or an industrial building or an institution, there are three parts for that building. Now, can you say what are the parts of the building coming in superstructure? By seeing this figure, you can immediately say this is one part, that is the roof. This is another part, that is the door. This is another part, that is the window, and this is another part, that is the wall. So these are the parts coming in the superstructure. Now what are the parts coming in the basement? Flooring, steps. Okay. Now what are the parts coming in foundation? By seeing this figure, we can say what are the parts coming in foundation. For that, to get that details, you have to draw or you have to get one more view of the building, that is the cross-sectional view. You assume you cut the building from top to bottom and remove this portion. You remove this portion and stand here and watch what you can see from top to bottom. That view will give the complete details about that building. Complete details about that building means what is the parts coming in foundation, how much is the depth of the foundation, how much is the width of all these details you will get from the cross-sectional view. Say for example, consider your own house, that side wall. Usually the building's side wall or the outer wall is having a thickness of 20 centimeter. So for example, assume this is a 20 centimeter wall. Assume this is the ground level. Okay. Now, if you want to construct this 20 centimeter wall over here, what should be the first step? If I want to construct this 20 centimeter thickness, this is the thickness 20 centimeter. The first step should be excavation of the soil. I have to remove the soil. Then only I can start constructing the wall or the building. Okay. Now, if I want to construct 20 centimeter wall, how much should be the width of excavation? Definitely, it should be more than 20 centimeter. It cannot be 20 centimeter. It should be more than 20 centimeter. Assume I am excavating, say, 1 meter width. Okay. Now, what about the depth of the foundation? Depth of excavation? That depends so many factors. So many factors means type of the soil, type of the building, etc., etc. Say assume 1 meter depth. So 1 meter width and 1 meter soil should be removed first to construct that 20 centimeter wall. Okay. After removing the soil to the full length, 1 meter width to the full length, next step, any idea? If the soil is strong, you can directly start the construction, but usually one layer of concrete will be laid, and that concrete is called base concrete, about 10 centimeter thickness, base concrete. So this is called base concrete, base concrete. For that, M10 concrete or M5 concrete can be used without any reinforcement. We have discussed the purpose of reinforcement. For this base concrete, no tension, so only compressive force is coming, so reinforcement is not required. So PCC, base concrete of PCC can be used. Okay. So small triangles and dot to represent the concrete. After putting the base concrete to the full length, full width, straight away we can start the construction either with brick or with stone. Okay. So as a first step, suppose this is 1 meter width and depth already we have discussed, it is 1 meter. There you can gradually reduce the width, say 80 centimeter width as a first step. Assume I am using rubble. So this is the graphical representation for rubble. Say 80 centimeter and say 50 centimeter height. Then again you can reduce the width, say to say 60 centimeter and the remaining height. Again rubble. And after that this portion can be filled by the same soil which is removed from there. And these are called footings. This is called the first footing, this is called the second footing. There may be third footing or fourth footing, depends upon the depth of the foundation. Now we have reached the ground level. Now again you can construct above this the basement. Again reduce the width. Say here 1 meter, here 80, say here 60, here can be 50. So that is basement. It can be either with rubble or with stone. Above that you can construct the wall, 20 centimeter wall. And consider this as the inside of the room. So this is flooring. Okay. What is under the flooring and above the ground? Under flooring and above the ground, that space, that is this gap, that is filled by soil filling or earth filling. Okay. Now this is the ground level. To reach from the ground level to the floor level, you have to provide steps. There may be 1 step or 2 steps or 3 steps, depends upon the depth of or height of the basement. Okay. Now started and reached up to here. Assume you are cutting along the wall through that door portion, you have to show the position of the door. Okay. And above the door and above the window, there will be a small beam about 10 centimeter thickness. That beam is called lintel. Usually above the window, that lintel will be projecting outward. That small projection is called sunshade. So above the door it will not be there. To show the full details about the building, I am marking the sunshade here. Sunshade about a 60 centimeter width and say 5 to 7.5 centimeter thickness. So again concrete. And above the lintel, wall. So usually it is represented like this, 45-degree inclined line, wall. And top, roof, that is of RCC, reinforced cement concrete RCC roof. And if you go to the terrace, top of the roof, there will be a small wall throughout the outer periphery of the terrace. That also you have to show it here. That wall is called parapet wall. Actually, the purpose of the parapet wall is to give protection, safety. Otherwise, people may go, whenever they go to the upstairs, there may be accidents. Okay, it happens many places. So, to avoid that, a small wall about this much height, say 70 centimeter height, it is constructed throughout the outer periphery of the terrace. And if you take the section here, if you are cutting here and you actually from here, you will be able to see the top of the parapet wall on the other side. This figure can be titled as component parts of a building. Now, which portion is foundation? That is the portion from ground level up to the bottom. That is foundation. This is foundation. This is foundation. And this portion, that is from the floor level up to the ground level, that is called basement. Basement. And this portion, that is up to the top from the floor level, that is called superstructure. I have already mentioned here. Now you can say what are the parts coming in foundation. So you see the parts coming in foundation are base concrete, footings, that's all, base concrete and footing. Now what are the parts coming in basement? Steps are coming, flooring is coming, earth filling or soil filling is coming. What are the parts coming in superstructure? Door as well as window, then lintel, sunshade, wall, parapet wall and roof. Now it is clear what are the parts coming in foundation, what are the parts coming in basement, what are the parts coming in superstructure. So we will be concentrating this portion, that is foundation. Now we see what are the functions of foundation. Functions of foundation, purposes of foundation. The basic purpose, the main purpose of any foundation is to give stability to that building. First function, purpose, stability to the building. Second function, as you know, the weight of the building, it is actually from the roof, the weight is transferred. If beam is there, it is transferred to the beam. If column is there, from the beam it is transferred to the column. If it is not there, it is transferred to the wall. From the wall it is transferred to the soil. So load transmission is taking place through the foundation. So transmission of load. Now here you see the wall thickness is 20 centimeter. When it reaches here, it becomes say 50 or 40, here 60, here 80, here 1 meter. So the weight, it is not transferred to a single point, It is transferred to a larger area and to the full length. Not only to this 1 meter, to the entire length, entire area. So the load is transferred, load is transferred to larger area. And as you know, if this foundation is not there, these rats and rabbits, they may dig a hole. And they will get into the building. So if this strong foundation is there, by seeing this, it may take another part. That is also a purpose. Safety against undermining animals or burrowing animals. So these are the functions of foundation. So first is stability against earthquake, against wind. Foundation will give stability to the building. it will transmit the load where to the larger area, wider area, and it will give safety against undermining or burrowing animals. One more point is there. Your ground level may be like this. So many undulations may be there. But if you construct the foundation and the basement, construct the foundation and the basement, construct the foundation and the basement, you will get a level surface to carry out further construction. So that also you can add as a purpose or a function. Which foundation will provide a level surface. So these are the functions of foundation. Now you see this depth, that is the distance from the ground level up to the bottom of the base concrete. That depth, that distance, that is called depth of foundation. Depth of foundation. Depth of foundation. It is usually represented like this, capital D. Depends upon that depth. Foundation is classified into two types. If D is less than 3 meters, that foundation is called shallow foundation. So if the depth is less than 3 meters, it is called shallow foundation. If the depth is greater than 3 meters, it is called deep foundation. So foundation is classified as shallow foundation and deep foundation, depends upon the depth of foundation. Under shallow foundation, there are three types. The first one is isolated footing. Isolated footing or isolated foundation. Isolated footing. Then combined footing or combined foundation. Combined footing. And third one is raft or mat foundation or mat footing. Okay, under deep foundation there are two types. The first one is pile foundation. Pile foundation, and the second one is well foundation. So this is the classification of foundation based on the depth of the foundation. Now we will see one by one. The first one, that is shallow foundation. Under that, the first one is isolated footing. Isolated footing. Isolated footing means it is a separate one. Okay, isolated footing means it is the foundation given for a single column. You might have seen column or pillar. The foundation given for a single individual column is called isolated footing. Say for example, a column. Assume this is the ground level. Okay, this is the column. The foundation given for this column, it can be like this. That is a column with a single footing. Can be like this. Okay, column with a single footing. If that is the case, it is called simple isolated footing. So isolated footing means foundation given for a single column. If there is only one footing, that is called simple isolated footing. So this is the front view or elevation. If you look from the top, you can see like this. This is the footing and centrally located column. Okay. So this is the footing in plan and this is the column in plan. So if one footing, that is called simple isolated footing. Column can be supported by many footings. Second case, column, and it can be supported by many footings like this. As in, this is the ground level. So this is the column in elevation, and these are the footings in elevation. Footings in elevation. So if you look from the top, it looks like this. First footing, above that second footing, above that third footing, and centrally located column. So these are the footings in plan and this is the column in plan. If this is the case, it is called, you see side view, it looks like steps. So that is why it is called stepped isolated footing. Stepped isolated footing. So first one is simple, that is one footing. Second one, many footings, stepped. And one more choice is there. What will be that choice? So first one, single footing. Second one, many footing. And third one is sloped, like this. Column, and it can be supported like this. So as you found ground level here. So the top view, it looks like this, centrally located column, and it is sloping towards all the four sides. Center column and sloping towards all the four sides. So it is called sloped isolated footing. So isolated footing means it is the foundation given for a single column, individual column, isolated. It can be simple, that means one footing. It can be stepped, that means many footings, or it can be sloped. Now out of these three different types, can you say which one is the commonly using one? Any idea? If the column is of RCC, reinforced cement concrete column, the choice is this, that is sloped isolated footing. If the column is of brickwork, column is of rubble, or column is of say stone, this is the choice, that is stepped isolated footing. And very rare case, simple footing. Okay, so these are the three different types of isolated footing. Now coming to the second one, combined footing. Suppose two columns are coming closer. Assume one column here with the footing. Now one more column is coming close to it. Okay, so these are the columns. Now instead of constructing two separate footings like this can be accommodated, these two columns can be accommodated in a single footing like this. Then it is called combined footing. So if you look from the top view will be like this. Footing and two columns. Footing and columns. So these are the columns in elevation, and these are the columns in plan, top view. And this is the footing in elevation, and this is the footing in plan. You see the shape is rectangle, that is why it is called rectangular combined footing. Rectangular combined footing. So if two or many columns, it can be more than two or many columns accommodated in a single footing, it is called combined footing. Suppose first column a bigger one like this, second column a smaller one like this. Usually combined footing is like this. Now instead of giving a shape like this, since this column is a smaller one, you can very well give a shape like this. So what is the advantage of giving a shape like this? The advantage is you can save the concrete, steel, etc. here. Okay. If that is the case, that is called second one, that is called trapezoidal combined footing. The shape is trapezoidal. So trapezoidal combined footing. So elevation almost the same as the previous one. Footing, first column a bigger column, second column is a smaller column. That's all. So this is the footing in elevation, this is the footing in plan. So these are the columns in plan. So these are the columns in elevation. Okay. So two types of combined footings. One is rectangular combined footing and another one is trapezoidal combined footing. If the column sizes are different, trapezoidal shape can be used. So if two or many columns are accommodated in a single footing, that is called combined footing. That is called combined footing. Now coming to the third one. First is isolated footing, that is foundation used for a single column. If two or many columns accommodated in a single footing, it is called combined footing. Next one, raft or mat footing. So before going to the raft or mat footing, we will see one special property of the soil, that is bearing capacity of soil. Bearing capacity. So what is meant by bearing capacity of soil? Bearing capacity, to bear something, to carry something or to take care of something. What? That is the load, weight of the building. So ability of the soil to take care of the load, that is called bearing capacity. That may vary from place to place, and same place there may be variation in the bearing capacity. So for example, in a room, suppose at this corner bearing capacity is very high, at that corner bearing capacity is very less, and there it is medium. Consider your own room. Now, without considering this special property of the soil, if you construct any building, what may happen? The portion where the low bearing capacity, that area may slowly sink. Finally, the structure may fail. That's what happened in the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Variation in the bearing capacity. So some places, some soil will behave like that. If that is the case, we have to go for raft or mat footing. Now consider a small area. So this symbol means it is continuous. I am taking a small area, it is extending towards all the four sides. Consider here there is very high bearing capacity, here there is very low bearing capacity, here it is medium, here it is high or low. Now without considering this special property, if you construct any structure, that structure may fail. So the construction of raft or mat footing is like this. Construct columns in X direction. So construct column here, construct column here, construct column here. So construct column in the Y direction also, in this direction also. Columns, columns, columns. Construct columns in this direction as well as in this direction. If you consider this room, you can see so many columns in this direction and so many columns in this direction. Here you can see beams in the X direction. There are so many beams in the X direction at equal spacing, and these beams are supported over the columns. So this is the column. So this is the column, you can see the column. So beams are resting or supported over the column, resting over the column. Similarly, in the Y direction there are beams. So this is the beam in the Y direction. So these beams are also supported over the column. And this is the roof. Okay. And assume these beams and columns are below the floor. This is the floor. So that is raft or mat foundation. Connecting that column and this column, the column in the left towards my left side and towards my right side, it is connected by a beam. Now consider that beam is below the floor level. Okay. Or assume there is a beam passing below the floor level connecting two columns. So the same way, connect this column with the help of beams. Connect this column to the next column if it is there with the help of the beam. Similarly, connect all the columns with the help of beams. This column to the next column, this column to the next column, this column to the next column, this column to the next column. And this beam is called primary beam. Primary beam. And these are the columns. 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 So connect all the columns in the X direction with the help of beam. Similarly, if you watch this room, you can see so many beams are connecting the columns in this direction. Beams are there in the X direction, beams are there in the Y direction. Assume these beams are passing below the floor level. Now connect this column to the next column with the help of beam. This column to the next column with the help of beam. This column to the next column if it is there with the help of beam. Similarly, connect these columns with the help of beam. That means construct beams in the y direction connecting all the columns. Construct beams in the x direction connecting all the columns. So these beams are called secondary beams. Secondary beams. So connect all the columns with the help of primary beam and with the help of secondary beam. And these beams should pass below the floor. And now construct floor here or slab. Slab here, slab here, slab here, slab here, slab here. That slab will act as the floor. So under the slab there are primary beams, there are secondary beams, and all these primary beams and secondary beams, it is connected to the column. So what is the advantage or what is the purpose of connecting all these beams and columns? Suppose due to low bearing capacity, if this area is trying to sink, other columns, other beams will hold it together. So there will not be any settlement in that area. This is covering the entire area. So if we spread a mat, that will cover the full area. That is why this is also called mat footing. It is covering the entire area. So all the beams or the columns are interconnected. Okay. Hope it is clear for you, the concept. Say for example, suppose 2-3 people want to cross a waterlogged area. How they will cross? The first person will go at the front. Okay. The others will be holding his hand. What is the purpose? Suppose this fellow is trying to sink, others will hold him or hold her. Same principle is applied here. If one portion is trying to sink, other beams, other columns will hold that portion. So locally people used to say belt construction. The same principle is applied. So a belt, a beam is constructed throughout the building, outer periphery. So that is called belt construction, more or less same as this one, raft or mat footing. So it is used, what is recommended if the load is high and if there is variation in the bearing capacity or the bearing capacity of the soil is very low. This type of foundation is recommended. So these are the 3 types of shallow foundation. Isolated footing, that is the foundation given for a single column. It may be simple, that is one footing. It may be stepped or it may be sloped. If 2 or many columns are accommodated in a single footing, it is called combined footing based on the top view, shape of the top view, rectangle or trapezoidal combined footing. And finally, raft or mat footing. It is recommended if the load is very high and the bearing capacity is less or there is variation in the bearing capacity. The entire area is covered by columns, beams and slabs.